Alright, so this is what onion Bert? Alright, so in this episode of Retro Wednesdays, we're going to take a look at Bionic Commando, which is one of the more popular games. I actually played more of it in the arcade than I did on the NES. But Brett plays this game all the time, and he's really good at it, so...
I had this game, this was one of the first games, if not the first, that I beat it without cheating. And so it's very important to me. And I remember the feeling, you know, the first time I played through this game,
right.
Seriously. Because, you know, you play a game throughout your childhood and you get as far as a certain place, and then often you just stop. Well, this time I was determined to beat it. I did. It took me like 3 hours. And you know that feeling like you're kind of sweaty and your controller is like greasy and you're like kind of hunched over and you're just like, you're having fun, but you really just want to beat it because you're just, you know, you're tired of kind of playing it a little. And yeah, it's a pretty good game. So I would say, let's get started.
All right.
Do you want me to play? Or
You should play. I've been thinking about it ever since we had our like brief like summer break from doing Retro Wednesdays. I was like, I really want to watch Brett destroy Bionic Commando because he's really good at this game. I don't want to guarantee anything, but he's very good at this game, and I enjoy sometimes just sitting back and watching someone who really knows the game play it really well. And plus, I felt bad that the last Retro Wednesdays we did, I hogged the game, the Chip and Dale. You know,
that's
your
fine.
favorite.
I don't care.
I have a question right off the bat. So, when you used to play this game all the time, and you would look at the dudes talking, you would say they were turtle talking. And I never honestly understood what the heck you were talking about.
I said that?
Yeah, you're like, they look like they're turtles. They're turtle.
Well, they
talking.
definitely look like a turtle.
They're turtling.
Gotta get my bearings.
Yeah, you gotta warm up a little bit.
This is a game where you obviously can't jump. And so, you need to... You don't necessarily need to master the grappling hook, but it really helps in the later levels to know how it works. And I think that's the key here, because once you get the bazooka, like, it's pretty easy. There's only a couple levels I can think of, a couple parts, where if you don't know how to do the grappling hook well, you're gonna really have a problem. And so...
I remember the arcade game was just top down. I don't remember there being side levels, unless I'm wrong.
No, the arcade game has side levels, but it's just not... I'm glad what they did here is they adapted it for the home consoles.
Yeah. Well, that's like one of the
arcade games kind of...
It's one of the things that stands out about, like, the games that are really well are the ones that, like, if they did have an arcade version, that they were something that someone took the time to, like, do correctly. Because you can't just do, like, a straight port. Most of the time it doesn't work.
As you get bullets, you level up and get more health. And that's essential because, again, in later levels, it's nice to be able to take a few hits.
Yeah.
And you don't start out with very many lives, so it's good to get that stock up so you're not dying all the time.
I always thought that elevator looked like it had a face, like a sad monster face. I used to use it all the time and like, because I mean, I don't know, kids these days are into all kinds of different things, but when we were little, like drawing was like a really big thing, and I used to have this really elaborate. I used to draw these really elaborate like battle and like war scenes and everything, and I used to use it all the time, and like I would draw bases. I was like really into base design. Like I was like always my thing. I used to love doing that, and I used to always use that looking thing for the elevator. And trying to think of the other thing. I remember I won an art contest award in my elementary school because I drew an army base that was like on a volcanic island, and it used thermal heat to power everything. But I always felt really guilty about it, and this is the first time I'm admitting it, like to other people. But the name of the island that I used was Parappa, and I stole that from Zelda 2. So I'm a scumbag. Therapy day.
How dare you?
This game has a pretty good soundtrack too. I've been working on this, trying to get this video done of like some of my favorite NES game soundtracks, but not just like playing them, because I mean there's like a billion videos like that. I wanted to talk a little bit about like the structure that I like about certain songs and stuff. And my biggest challenge has been that every time I turn around, I find another game that I'm like, oh, I need to do that one. Now I feel like it's going to be like a 20-part mini-series I'm going to have to do. Then I'm lazy.
This thing is a flare, and basically you need it for this level only.
This is the level that separated the men from the boys, because I never knew that existed. So like I always used to try to go through this like this with the dark. It did not.
It's
does
possible
not work.
if you're.
It's hard. It's hard. I guess you could do it, but I struggled mightily.
I mean, really, the bosses in this game are a joke.
Yeah, they're not really hard.
But it is sure. It's fun to navigate around. I think that's the.
What's like what? I mean, not that it's the same, but it's kind of what like made. You know, it makes Super Mario Brothers so entertaining. It's not the boss fights, it's the jumping, it's the getting through the level kind of thing. And then this kind of recreated it in a totally different way, because it wasn't just I could jump from point A to point B. It's like I need to figure out how to grapple onto stuff from point A to point B.
Right now, I got the most powerful and useful weapon in the game. So once you get that, you're set for the rest of the game. For the most part, there's only maybe 1 or 2 other levels where you can't use it. But what you can do is, because what they'll do is they'll put a barricade up that requires a certain weapon. But once you destroy the barricade, you can switch back to the
that's cool.
The bazooka. So maybe I should try playing this game without that.
Old style. Challenge mode. The level where you gotta ride around in hair gel. You know, that's something that they've really improved in our lifetime. Hair products. Remember how hag our hair gels used to be? How they'd be like so crusty and like after an hour you would just end up with like white crap all over your hair.
I didn't use gel too much.
Yeah, you were lucky. I was a fashion victim from the womb, but I remember I used to like try to do slick hair, and I'd have like the wet look after I got rid of my long hair, and it just sucked. It'd cake my hair down with all this shit. Looked like someone shot a load in my hair. It was like it would be plasticky.
That means that I picked the wrong transceiver, but I don't think it'll prevent me from doing the thing.
Construction zone.
Whoop. I blew that one. This is one part where you sort of need to understand how the grappling hook works.
Yeah, I can see. Ah, look at that. They fake you out with the other thing.
Forgive me, I haven't done this in a little while.
Doing this like video on game music, I started to notice even more like the thing that a lot of the composers did for these games that I think is so cool is they would use the like a counter melody sometimes underneath the main one, and that's what makes it sound so cool to me.
The bazooka just makes this game
easy mode.
So easy.
That's awesome. That's good to know. So get the bazooka.
Yeah, the strats are get the bazooka, and then farm the box trucks so that you can get. You have to kill like this particular enemy in those to get.
Yeah, look at the bro with the shield.
Depends on where you get hit. So if you're in another spot, it'll be a different enemy. All right, here we go.
Oh man, I think I remember watching you do this before.
That part
Damn.
would give you so much trouble if you don't know how to grapple. I mean,
PPP.
I'm not really that great at it, but I've been playing this game for a while.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just attacks. Like, this is basically cheating. I mean.
That's awesome. No way, man. They put it in the game. It counts.
Right. And you need to beat enough levels, and I'm not sure what the cutoff is, but you need to beat enough levels where you have enough power to go to the second section of the map.
Yeah, I never even knew the second section existed.
Yeah, so over there, I don't have enough power. So I guess I have to beat 6 in order to proceed.
Descend transfer. This nice little honky tonk thing.
Is that honky tonk?
It sounds like, it's just the twang and the dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Like the remake version of this has it like way more pronounced because the NES probably couldn't do it, but you know, like when the guy wrote it, he wanted it to be like brr, 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 like
right,
really
right.
bend it.
Again, I don't remember the best route through this level, so you're gonna have to bear with me.
That's fine. It's fun to watch.
I get mixed up, but eventually I'll get it.
Gotta get them bullets. And the bass line of this one. It's like
I have never thought of the honky tonk thing at all until you said that. Honky tonk.
Gotta use your power pills.
Whoop. Thanks, Sean. Always
health
looking out
warning.
for me.
Side seat gaming, baby. But they did this, for the Wrath of the Machine, they did this special exotic gun quest, for a weapon that they called Outbreak Prime. And it kind of reminded me of, like, the old NES games where it was very cryptic. Like, you had to go into this room and there'd be these enemies. And there were two different types of enemies. There were knights, and then there were taken knights. And they would appear in a very specific order, and you would use that order to program this I'm like totally paraphrasing and probably skipping a bunch of it, but you would use the order that they appeared in to program this this communicator, and it would be basically like binary, it'd be on or off, be ones or zeros, and like the taken knights were zeros and then regular knights are one, and you would have to remember the sequence, and then you'd have to go through the raid and turn on all these different monitors, and like you had to do all this super cryptic stuff. And then in the very end, you got this code, and this is where I probably am gonna get it wrong, but dick. But you would put it into this like hexadecimal calculator, and it would spit out another number, and that would be the number you would put in to the communicator, and then you would finally get the gun. But it was so much fun, like the first time you got it, and like seeing how far you could get without like using the internet or anything to like look anything up.
Yeah,
it was really fun. It gave me hope for modern games, because I was like, this is what I miss. I miss having games that were like not like challenging in like difficulty, but challenging in like using your brain.
Mm-hmm. If you beat the game by going to Area 7, then what are the rest of the areas for?
Yeah. RPGs are like that genre of games where you're like, while you're playing it, you're like, awesome, this is so much fun. And then when you're playing, like once you're done, you're like, oh my god, it's so fucking annoying. I think about that all the time with Zelda 2, where I'm like, man, the game was so great to play all the way through. And then I think about playing it again, I'm like, oh my god, that grind.
Yeah,
Just
I agree.
makes me want to hurt myself.
Because you forget sometimes about the parts that aren't fun.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, you can do this. Then you do this.
You do the fart.
And then you get the good weapon. And you go.
Bass players are doing overtime on this game. You know what it looks like? Did you ever get a liver clot before?
A what?
A liver clot?
No, what the fuck is that?
I don't, my grandfather told me that's what it was called, so I don't know if it's really that, or that was some like World War II term, or just made up shit that he just wanted to mess. Like, sometimes when I was little, I used to get nosebleeds all the time. I don't know why, mostly because my nose was always dry or whatever, and like sometimes I would, because I used to know all these tricks on like how to clot it.
Ew, dude.
to get it to stop. Well, I had to, man, or I've been in the nurse's office like all day. And sometimes it would do this thing where I would, like the blood would like congeal over the cut, but I'd have snot in my nose on top of it, so I would end up pulling out this like huge hunk of like bloody snot.
Yeah, I mean that's happened to everybody.
Yeah, but no, I mean they're like this thick. They're like an inch long and like a half an inch thick. They're huge. And that's what I was told they were called liver clots.
I remember I think this is just my imagination, but I remember there was a kid in my school when I was in preschool, and he had all this snot, and he like blew on his nose, and a booger sheet came out, and it had all these little tiny boogers on top of it, and it really grossed me out because it was like gray and blue. But I think
that's horrible.
I think I am not imagining it, but like I'm not remembering it 100%. But that was
oh my god.
Another time, I brought a whole cheesesteak or regular Italian for lunch, and I pulled it out of the wrapper, and everybody was staring at me, and I cried because I felt so embarrassed. Because my dad packed me a full-on regular Italian, and I was like, however old you are in preschool.
Oh. I was like waiting for something like, what, you have like a giant booger in your nose or something? It was just the sandwich?
Yeah, because everyone couldn't believe the
size of it. Or so it was a dad sandwich, which means it was like packed to the fucking gills.
Yes.
Like the bread was struggling to stay closed.
Shit. So what you need to do, this is the part where you need to learn how to grapple. Because really you just need to climb up these walls here. Blowing it, man. Jesus. Guess I'm not that good at it.
It's better than I was gonna do.
I'll try this again. Alright, I got it this time, no problem. I remember having so much trouble with these levels when I was a youngin'.
I have another like gross out elementary school time. I remember one time I went in the bathroom after this girl. I remember her name, but I won't say it. I don't want to embarrass anybody. And
she watches the show.
Of course, since we're worldwide now, we're international. But she like I went in the bathroom after her, and she had pooped and didn't flush it. And when I looked down at the turd, it looked like, it probably was just my imagination, but it honestly looked like there was a worm inside of it. And I freaked out, and I wouldn't go to the bathroom at the school for like the rest of the year.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I was so freaked out. And I didn't tell anyone, I probably should have. Nice.
That part can get a little frustrating.
Yo. Peer. Beardy McGee.
Just gotta do that.
Problem solved. I'm gonna end this shit. Ooh. Dick Cannon was getting slick on you. It was dropping it down. Dropping it over the top. I'm gonna dome them. Stupid. Yo, now you're fighting. Is that Hitler?
That's something kilt. I think.
Yeah, that must be his like general.
General Malone.
Master D. Seizure. Oh look, another generator. It's all fucked up.
Capcom loves generators, man.
It does. If that's what you want.
Albatross.
This is the one song I don't think is on the remake. It's getting intense.
Such a Capcom level.
Is that really it?
There's one more part.
I was about to say, that can't be the last boss.
The grand
That's so
finale.
lame.
Well, it is. I mean, that was the last boss. There's no other fights really.
Huh.
This is the.
Oh, you gotta get out in time or some
This is the
shit?
thing. Like this is kind of what made this game notable because it's got stuff you wouldn't typically see in a Nintendo game.
Yeah. Yo. That's you only get one shot at that? Wow. What happens if you mess up? He just takes off.
It kills you immediately. You just start over again.
Ah! Oh my god. So violent. Oh my god.
You don't usually see that in a
It's
Nintendo
true.
game.
I'm
so.
traumatized now.
And there's Hitler too.
Oh my god, how pissed would you be if you made it all the way to here and then you died? Because of crap.
See ya.
Gotcha, bitch. Nice, man. That was awesome. Yo, crazy hair.
All right.
It's kind of disappointing they put this like as the end, where it's like just this crappy, that crappy cutscene.
Typical Nintendo ending.
Explosion, chopper flying away. Contra. Looks like there's a face in there. The helicopter flyaway is definitely a big part of Nintendo too.
Yeah, it really is.
Jackal, Contra, this game.
That's a pretty good
Yeah.
still image though, with the light from the explosion.
It doesn't. The only part that doesn't work is that he doesn't have his bionic arm. Why wouldn't he be using that?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Kind of a downer. $1989.47. Is that like April 7th?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know the significance.
Isn't that VD Day or something? Hold on, let me look. I want to say it's something. April 1941, I'm just looking. Nothing really. Maybe that was like when World War II ended or some crap. I hope this story belong to May.
Oh, snap.
Oh
7
my
years
God.
ago.
That's crazy. So Joe told the story that you played through. He's like the narrator. Interesting. All right, man. So Bionic Commando, final thoughts.
It's a fun game. It's, I would say, doable for someone who maybe is just starting out at, not at playing games, but at getting some beaten games under their belt. And it's got a lot of fun like things, and you can play it in a way like I did where it's pretty easy to beat once you get the bazooka. And the music is some of the best music on the system. It came out in 88.
I think so, yeah.
That's pretty early on. Graphics are, very colorful. A good example of how Nintendo games sort of worked with what they were given.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a lot of greens and blues, and it's just it pops. You can see all the levels pop, a lot of oranges. And that's the kind of game design I like. You know, for a time there, it seemed like every game was sort of muddy and trying to be real life, so it's a lot of browns and
gritty-ish.
But I really appreciate... That's the reason why I like Quake 3 and all the other stuff, is that they weren't afraid to throw color in there. So that's why I think this one...
It's cool. Yeah, I feel like I missed out. Like, I didn't play this game very much growing up because I don't know, I guess the communicator thing confused me, and like I didn't really know what to do. But I feel like I missed out a little bit because it's fun. And, you know, it's definitely one of those games that has a very deceptively fun and interesting soundtrack now that I've had a chance to listen to it. So I'll have to add that to my list, my ever-growing list of good video game music to listen to. And, yeah, I just think, like, by replacing jumping with the grappling, I think just doing something that simple just basically created a whole new method of playing. Like, you don't think about being able to instantly move. Like, you have to look for ledges to, you know, grapple onto, and like you have to learn how to do that thing you're talking about, like failing forward, where you would like hit the wall and bounce, but it would bounce you up. And it's like you have to learn how to do that so that way you can get up through the level faster. Yeah, and it makes it really fun. I feel like I missed out a little bit on this one. I think I might need to practice it up, and then maybe we could do it. I'll play it on a live stream or something.
I can definitely help you through.
Win it. Awesome. All right, well, this is Bionic Commando, and for Retro Wednesdays, until next time.